thank you so much for coming over to this ultra-peripheral region. My first question to you is how the multidisciplinary field can enhance entrepreneurship and startups instead of every department being in their own cubicle.
Yes.
Because we are seeing more and more multidisciplinary teams working together, and that's really good. That's something that we haven't seen maybe 10 years ago, because everyone was in their little desk doing their little thing. So how do you think the contribution is made, and how we can develop not only investigation but also startup projects?
This is a question I'm really concerned about every day, because I completely agree that entrepreneurship is an interdisciplinary thing. You need to bring together teams from different fields, because ideas don't come out of business administration. There are ideas, but it's not the only place. So when you have engineers, you have health people studying medicine or technology or whatever, they come up with ideas, and they are missing the business knowledge to set up a startup. They have the idea for the business, but you need some hard skills as well. And that is really, really important, and therefore it is very good to lecture them very early about entrepreneurial education. Some business skills and how to do it and how to set up a startup.
I see. And also, you have the business setting in Central Europe, the Nordic countries, Central Europe, Central Germany, and there is a contrast in business communication and between that Central Europe and Southern Europe. How maybe risky ventures are more predominant in the South or maybe in Central Europe? Did you find anything?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know, because I think you have them everywhere. Depends very much on the idea. How risky it is. If you are very innovative and you enter a completely new market, then it's very risky, because nobody knows if it's going to work out. If you're more like imitative, if you do something that's already done and make only small innovations, small changes, then it's not that risky. It's still risky to set up a startup, but not as risky as coming up with a completely new idea and an innovative idea. And it gets even harder depending on how you're thinking. So if you come up, and I will talk about that today, sustainable startups, so sustainability, social things you want to change, or environmental things you want to change, then it gets worse, because you have two different types of goals. So it's a hybrid business. And for investors particularly, how should they, it's always difficult to find funding for startups, but for hybrid startups which try to have an impact and are very much mission driven with sustainability. So it depends very much on what you do, not on the region. That would be my answer to the question.
Okay, thank you very much. So the other question would be, what makes a startup last? So is it the funding, or is it basically the eagerness or the will of someone to carry it out? Because if someone doesn't have the funding, then how they can carry out? Some people just really fight for it, and whether they have funding or not, they have to go to certain means to carry out things.
So first of all, you need to have the motivation to do it. You really need want to do it and bring it forward and have this to stick with the idea and try to bring it forward, but you still need to be adaptive and make changes and adapt to the environment and stuff like that. But then you still need other things. You need the ecosystem. It's not only the funding, it's the complete ecosystem you are going to need. So you need people, you need partners, you need support mechanisms, and you need the funding. But without the mentality, without the motivation to do it, it will still not work. Yeah, even though you have everything else in place.
So the easiness on Madeira is that they say it's easy to start a business. However, to carry it out, it's quite difficult. It's an entrepreneurial island. So how can we captivate investors? Not only from mainland, but also from Europe or America, because this is such a small region. Although it is very enhanced by the tourism center, we need to develop other things and not just make a funnel and make just one simple great thing out of the island.
And that is, I think, everybody's concerned with. And when we think about the talk from David yesterday about Israel, they really managed to get funding in place. So again, I think it's the people. It is very much how the setup is done for people, that they find those startups, that they can communicate in an easy way, and that they see the business idea. I'm not so sure if it's in the end so important where the startups actually are, as long as an ecosystem for the support is in place. So if you have that and investors see that the startup has the chance to develop where it is, I think they will be fine. Yeah, but you need to show that. So you need to have everything else in place as well to attract the investors.
So thank you very much for your input, and I hope the presentation goes smoothly and you enjoy it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much again for having me here. It's really a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you.